look, let's get into Twitter Reacts. So let's see how Twitter has been reacting to the damaging 2-0 defeat in the North London derby yesterday.
All right, so let's go into some of the tweets following yesterday's North London derby defeat. We got Abby Summers, who tweeted yesterday. She said, "In 5.5 years under Poch, we built a proper team with minimal resources. Yes, it went stale for a number of reasons, not all of which his fault. 3 years later, everything is undone. If you don't think the board is to blame, then what the F have you been watching?"
Yeah. Absolutely spot on.
Completely 100% spot on. I don't know how anyone can disagree with that.
But again, like I saw her speaking on Don Robbie's show, and she was like, "Get Conte out, bring Pochettino in. I want to start enjoying football again." You're not going to start enjoying football again until we bring in the players to suit either's philosophy. Did you really enjoy the football in the last year under Pochettino? No, you didn't, because the board don't give the managers what they need consistently. They might do it from time to time when they're really backed into a corner, but you do need to do it consistently, year on, year on, year on, year on. And look, there's no point talking about a new manager coming in and enjoying your football if this board is still going to be acting the same way.
Yeah, we're not going to... Yeah, I completely agree. Martin Cloak says, this thread 100%. This is a thread from Ben Norland. Says, Levy's crime is not penny pinching. He spent a lot on players and managers. His real crime is spending money badly in an incoherent way, trying to shortcut the projects he professes to want. Look at the cost of Brighton starting 11 or Brentford starting 11. Imagine the owners of those clubs, but with the resources that Spurs have. They would be serious contenders because they have a clear philosophy of unearthing talent, players that fit their system. Not every player works out, but the vision is there. For Spurs to get back on track, we need a reset. Levy needs to decide what he wants the club to be and hire a manager who fits that mould. Enough with Conte, Mourinho tail wagging the dog. Managers come and go, but the club's philosophy must be constant.
Exactly. And nobody can tell you. If you asked 1,000 people at that stadium yesterday, like 1,000 random people, nobody could tell you what Spurs' philosophy is. Nobody could tell you what this club's plan is. Nobody could tell you anything. We need answers. Like, we need answers. Daniel Levy goes into hiding. You know, the supporters trust ask them these 4 questions and be like, no, we're not answering you until the end of the transfer window. The financial results were supposed to come out a month ago or whenever it was. No, we're not giving that till the end of the transfer window. I mean, come on, give us some answers. We're being kept in the dark so much over here at this football club. It's sickening. It's absolutely sickening.
No one knows what's going on at the moment. Big John Bassett, sack Conte, get Poch back, sign some young talent, and let's start again. New goalkeeper, get Adoji, Spence as fullbacks, Romero and a new centre-back, Bentancur and Basuma, Kulu, Son and Kane behind Rishi, 4-2-3-1, all-out attacking, quick, exciting football.
The thing is, I think with the players that we do have in this squad, I think it might actually cost less for Pochettino to get the team he wants than maybe a Conte to get the team he wants?
It might cost less. Well, if we play a 4-2-3-1 under Poch, then probably we have to.
Because I think he'll get. He'll get into Spence. He'll get into Adoji, the 2 fullbacks for us. Maybe even Emerson can stay under a Pochettino with as a backup right back with his defensive abilities, but probably not, to be honest. I'd probably still want him gone. Centre backs, you have Romero, and you need one more. You need a new goalkeeper. Centre mids, I think, can probably do well in a Poch system, and up front we're all right.
I would have question marks about both Kane and Son in the team, to be honest, in a pressing system. I don't know if they both have it in them anymore to do that really relentless high press that Pochettino requests. Yeah. And that's an awkward conversation. I think they. But
at least those are 2 players you can get money for.
I guess I don't think they both need to leave, but I think maybe one of them might have to. I think you could maybe compensate for one, but I don't know if you can.
Well, you could play Kane in the number 10.
Yeah, maybe. I guess, look, there's obviously a blueprint there if you wanted a Pochettino system.
Yeah, that's because this squad was built for Pochettino.
Yeah, exactly. JAIP says, Spurs have a choice this week. Back the manager and bring in a top centre-back, keeper and right wing-back, or sit on their hands and let the others pass us by. If Levy loves Conte, he doesn't need to spend another 100 million now. If he doesn't, then sack him.
Look, it's what we've been saying, really, isn't it? I mean, if you're not going to back him, then just get rid of him. Because there's no point of him being here unless you're going to back him. The fact of the matter.
So depressing. Lily White Rose says the club and Conte need to make a decision. He renews his contract. They get him. They get in the player he wants, or Conte and the club agree that he won't be renewing. Club appoints a new manager and signs players that they want. We can't keep up the current situation with half a season to play. Yeah, and it's an awkward situation when it comes to Conte. I think at the moment, if we're just wasting time right now, if we're not going to give him the players he wants.
We've wasted time since sacking Pochettino. This whole, how many years has it been now since we sacked Poch?
5 years.
5 years since we sacked him.
4 years. 2019. November 2019.
Bloody hell. Such a waste of all of our time, money, effort, everything.
4 years, yeah.
What has been the point of these last 4 years?
Nothing.
There's been no point to it whatsoever. We got to a Champions League final. We've just regressed. It's been such a waste of all of our times. And now what? We're going to go back to Pochettino with our tails between our legs, being in a worse spot than when he left us.
And
ridiculous.
If we get Pochettino, we're gonna have to spend more on centre backs. We're gonna have to spend more probably on a goalkeeper, probably on wing backs as well. In my opinion, probably maybe a centre mid. Like, we're gonna have to spend money as well under Poch. It's not just gonna be plain sailing. Just we've got to get Pochettino in.
Of course.
Altug Kopp says Poch should be getting more out of this squad. They got to a Champions League final. Jose, he should be getting more out of this squad. Nuno, cool, this is terrible. The squad ain't as bad as he's made them look. Conte, he should be getting more out of this squad. This fan base, man. That's what he says. He's criticising the fan base for all these criticising these managers.
Yeah, spot on.
Hotspur Edition says Conte is not perfect either. You're being paid one of the biggest salaries in the league and is consistent and constantly persisting with the formation that's key not working. Player selection still questionable as well. I mean, you can question it, but I don't think much changes if we go for Perisic ahead of Sessegnon.
I don't think anything changes.
I don't think much changes if we pick Forster over Lloris yesterday. Maybe that mistake doesn't happen, but I don't think we win the game. I don't think it changes our performance. I think he's got what he's got in the right now. But formation, you can blame him. I would say formation, but I wouldn't blame him player selection too much.
But the fact of the matter is, even if you changed the formation yesterday, with the players that we have, we're still probably losing the game. We're miles ahead. We're miles away from Arsenal. That's just the facts of the matter. And last season we were on maybe a par with them because we played a lot less games, but we are miles away from Arsenal, and it kills me. It absolutely kills me to see what is going on at this football club at the moment. But let's move on.
Hotspur Edition says Conte is not perfect either. You're being paid one of the biggest salaries in the league and is constantly. Oh no, that's what I just read. Sorry, Matt Hayes says Conte
Hayes.
Conte has bottled this in every way. Why would you wait until the 87th minute to bring on Brian Hill? Why would you play two men in midfield against the best midfield in the league? Why can't you motivate your players for a North London derby to dent their title challenge? Pathetic. Do you think a lack of motivation was an issue yesterday?
For the players or for Conte? Or for just anything?
For the players.
I don't know how you can have a lack of motivation in North London derby. I just don't know how that can be a case. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. How can you have a lack of motivation in North London derby?
I don't think it was an issue. I think the players tried. I just think there was a number of issues why we couldn't.
And I don't think there's a lack of motivation in that second half. They came out with, they played well in that second half, if anything.
XG Philosophy says Tottenham accumulated 2 points.
But wait a sec, but I do actually think there's a lack of motivation in Conte at the moment. I really do. I know you're still seeing him going crazy on the sidelines, but I've just got a bit of a feeling. I don't know what it is. I feel like he's I think he's mentally checking out or checked out. I mean, I don't think it's intentional. I just think because of everything that's going around with the conversations he's having with the board and everything like that.
But what are you basing that on? Just the performances or him personally?
I feel like him in press conference is a bit diluted as it was. He's not really like got that same fire in his belly. What I'm hearing about like how many days off he's giving the players off training every week. Like what the hell's going on there? We've got a North London derby on the weekend. We didn't train on Sunday, Monday, or Wednesday. What's that all about?
I don't know.
There has to be questions asked.
I don't know what the usual training schedule is. I can't answer that. When it comes to Conte, I don't know. I'm not. I think just after a loss, I mean, we've lost quite a few games recently, and he's usually down after a loss, and then after a win, he's just a very emotional person. I don't think he's checked out. I just think that's how he is. Like you could have said the same like after last season when we had that run of 4 losses in 5. You could have said, oh, he's checked out, he's off, he's leaving. Everyone was saying he's definitely gone, and then obviously we win a few games and he's back to normal. So I just think that's how he is.
I understand that, but back then he had just joined the club, and I think he still would have had the hopes that Levy and Enoch were going to give him the money, give him the players that he wanted. I think right now it's probably clear in his mind where he's going and where this club is going, and if he's going to get the backing. I just think it's probably clear in his mind right now.
He would have walked.
I don't know why. Why would he walk? There's no reason for him to walk.
Yeah, because if he really believes that he's not going to get the backing, it's going to hurt his reputation. Why would he stay?
Because walking now or walking at the end of the season, I don't think has any difference on his reputation or not.
Well, if he walks at the end of the season and we're mid-table, and he walks now and we're in a battle for top 4, it does.
I mean, I don't. In the bigger picture of his reputation, I don't think it makes too much of a difference, and I think that. He can easily pick up his paycheck, which he's getting quite handsomely paid, by the way, up until the end of the season and then walk. There's no sense in him to walk right now when he's getting paid quite handsomely to do this job.
If he really believes that, if he's mentally checked out and he really believes that there's no hope, then I think he would. I don't know why stay. If he depends how bad he believes it is. I don't believe that he right now that he's given up and he's checked out. I just don't believe that personally, but I don't know.
Have to wait and see, won't we?
XG Philosophy says Tottenham accumulated 2.3 XG with shots on target against Arsenal yesterday. This is the amount. Obviously the amount that Spurs are expected to score, with Ramsdale conceding none. So. 2.3 XG.
Yeah,
you don't expect. Yeah, that's quite a big figure.
To be honest, when I came home from the game yesterday and I looked at the stats from the game, I was actually so surprised because we had more shots on goal, more shots on target,
more passes,
higher
more
XG, everything.
How often are Arsenal having less possession and less passes than the opposition? Very rare.
I know.
But you could argue that's because they were 2-0 up. Hotspur Edition says...
and by the way, I'm just thinking about what we were talking about with Conte being mentally checked out. I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think it's a conscious decision, and I don't think he comes into work every day being like, oh, I don't want to be here, I hate it here, and blah, 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 and I want to leave. But I just feel like he's losing a bit of it, the passion, because he knows what's to come with the board and the ownership. I think mentally checked out might have been the wrong phrase. I don't know what phrase to use, but I don't know, it's a hard one. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say.
I don't know. You think he's lost?
I think he's losing. I don't think he's lost it, but I think it is weaning. Maybe.
I don't know. I think it's just when results are bad, that's how it seems, and it always is with Conte. And I just think he's a very emotional person, and I think when he loses, he's down and he's depressed and he's emotional. But when he wins, that then it's a different story. He's passionate again. He's got that fire, and I just think it's a perception thing. Hotspur Edition says you see the job Eddie Howe's getting out his players. De Zerbi at Brighton, Marco Silva at Fulham. I understand the squad isn't perfect, but with players like Kane, Kulu, Romero, Bentancur, Perisic, Son, Richarlison, and Basuma, we should be performing better.
We should be performing better. But the fact of the matter is us performing better than what we're performing now is probably just about getting into the top 4, as opposed to being 5 points outside the top 4. It's not too much of a difference in terms of outcome.
Like, if he's underperforming, I don't think he's massively underperforming, Conte, right now. As much as we can, obviously performance can be better, results could be better, all these kind of things. But when it comes to just purely results-wise, I don't think the result. Look, he's probably underperforming, but I don't think it's like massive. Like we're not, you know what I mean? I don't think it's a massive underperformance to what the level of defenders we have.
Yeah.
Here's a video of Richarlison and Tomiyasu yesterday having a bit of a thing. That was quite funny. He was because Richarlison was trying to interrupt the throw. Tomiyasu wasn't letting him. And just on that, there was obviously that scuffle at the end. Obviously, that the fan kicking Ramsdale, which is completely unacceptable. But I don't know what's going to happen with that. Spurs made a statement. We'll see if that fan gets caught. But obviously, it's completely unacceptable having violence against players. But is what it is, I guess. That's just something that happened at the end of the game.
Look, it's completely unacceptable for that fan and what he did, running onto that pitch and trying or absolutely kicking Ramsdale. But Ramsdale was goading the Spurs fans throughout that whole game yesterday.
I heard something that he threw something in the crowd. I don't know if it's true. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know what happened. Premier League panel says Spurs ball progression from centre-backs and wing-backs in midfield is simply not good enough. So much so that Son, Kane and Kulusevski all coming to feet too often. Then there's nobody stretching the defence as a result. Son's biggest strength, it caps the ceiling of their team. Do you think Son still has it? It says it completely caps the ceiling of their team. Someone asked him, do you think Son still has it? Seems washed by now. The guy has only scored 2 in the Premier League, and he responded, maybe he's declined, but he's also being used wrongly due to poor team dynamics. Since I described, he's not a ball to feet player, and that's what I've been saying. Like he's not. He keeps getting the ball to feet way too much, Heung-min Son, and that's not his. That's not his game.
Yeah.
Windy COYS says, don't see why Levy would back a manager who has a team playing this poorly, who is failing to put our best players in a position to shine, who has months on his contract. If they think they can get someone in quickly enough to benefit from the window, I think Conte has to go. By the way, I can't think of a single player that Conte has improved. Some will say Davis, but he's always been a good left centre-back at Wales. That's got to be a note for concern for a club that doesn't have untold billions to spend. Do you think that's fair on Conte, what are you saying?
Yeah, to a certain extent, because I think that we're caught in this loop, right? Because they don't want. I mean, they're not backing Conte. Whether that's because they don't want to back him because they feel like they don't have enough money, or that Conte's not signing the contract. They don't know if he's going to be here next year, and then Conte won't sign because he's not getting backed. So I mean, it's like just this vicious cycle at the moment, and I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? And Conte
Do you think it's fair to say he hasn't improved any of the players?
He's improved. Last season, he'd improved pretty much nearly all of them, but they've all regressed again this season.
I think Bentancur and Højbjerg have improved probably since last season.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I think Højbjerg had a really good start to the season, but I don't think he kept those levels up. He was probably our best player in the first.
Yeah, but it's only halfway through the season. You know what I mean?
He was our best player probably after like 6-7 games, and I think he's been poor since the World Cup's come, and I think he was putting in poor displays as well before the World Cup. Look, I think ultimately Højbjerg has improved. Bentancur most definitely has improved. When you look at our performances last season, you know, that whole backline had improved. He'd improved Davis massively. He improved Dyer massively. Dyer's reverted back to type. Davis has gone down from what he was last season. So, I mean, he's improved some players, and some players have reverted back to type.
Yeah, I think it's too easy. It's too easy when Spurs are in a bad run of form. Oh, none of the players improved. When we have improved, we do win. Sarr's playing well. Doherty scoring. He's improved it. It's all about. I think it's all about timing and perceptions. A lot of these things. You know, when you're in a bad run of form, you only look at the bad of all the players, and when you're in a good run of form, all of a sudden everything looks different, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, a lot of debate in those tweets about Conte, all the board, and all these different things. It seems very fractured right now. What's going on at Spurs?
Massively. There's infighting in the fans. Boardroom level, don't know what they're doing. We don't know if Conte is going to be here or not next season. The whole thing's a mess. Everything's a mess, and it's like getting so toxic to go to the stadium as well. And it hurts me, man. It really does. But that's it for Twitter Reacts for the North London derby defeat 2-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.